Hi everyone, this is Luxtos, and today I'm bringing you yet another WeakAuras video guide. We'll be covering Mage WeakAuras, Arcane, Fire, and Frost for patch 8.0.1. These will be updated for the entire duration of Battle for Azeroth. So, before we get started, again, I want to thank every single one of you here on YouTube and over on Twitch. The support has been incredible. So, make sure you keep liking my videos so I know that you appreciate my work. And if you want to see me do these live or play World of Warcraft, just come follow me on Twitch. I would greatly appreciate it. So, let's get right into it. Okay, so we're simply gonna open WeakAuras. There we go. WeakAuras 2.6.6. This is the latest version. You need to have this installed. You could have a newer version. We're going to make sure all WeakAuras stay updated for most recent version. So make sure you get the last one. You type /WA to open the add-on, if you have it installed, of course. And then all you need to do is import the 6 groups that are going to be in the description below. You're going to have 6 links. So simply open all of those in your favorite browser and get ready to import. So let's take the first one. All you need to do is click the copy WeakAuras import string button right there. Go back into World of Warcraft, new import, paste it in. Click import, wait for it to finish loading, and there you go. Get back to your browser, get the second one, Mage Resources, new import, there you go. So if you're new to this, this is just the basic of importing a WeakAuras string. If this isn't your first video, we've done this a million times already, but I want to make sure everybody starts on the right foot. There you go. Import. Interrupts. And we're almost done. The last group, cooldowns. There you go. So we're going to be starting with Arcane for now. If you are new to my WeakAuras, this is how I do things. So when you're out of combat, you're going to see your resources, basically, and you're going to see your default utilities. So as soon as we go in combat, there you go. As soon as you go in combat, you're going to see your DPS cooldowns, some specifics. So those are going to be low cooldowns ability, and some other talents, buff, active, and all that good stuff. This is going to be your main rotation bar. Those are going to be your interrupts, and those are your utilities. So for Arcane Mages, I'm displaying your percentage of mana, and the number is going to be right there. So it's not as useful, but it's really all about how many mana percent you have left. And yeah. And under there, you're going to have your Arcane charges, which is going to be your secondary resources in a way. So you'll be able to learn how to play with those. So let's get into the talent just to see what I'm using. Again, I want to point out this is not the optimal talents. I just picked random talents just to show you the most out of it. I just want to let you see how does the WeakAuras works. So I just picked random talents. Don't follow this. This is not a guide for optimal talent or optimal DPS. This is just to show you how the WeakAuras work. So right now I'm using amplification, which is not going to change anything. So we'll let you see that in a few. So for example, if I go in combat, the way that Arcane work is you have a burn phase and a conserve phase. So as long as you are in the burn phase, and the burn phase is called with evocation. So if you do have evocation, you are in a burn phase. So burn phase, so for example, now I'm at 4 charges, so I should apply Nether Tempest because I'm using it, and then I keep spamming Arcane Blast. I have a proc of Arcane Missile, I can cast that, and we can keep going into the burn phase. There you go. I can refresh it because I have 4 stacks again, and we'll spend all of our mana. So I'm just going to forget about these. I'm just going to spend my mana just to show you, so you can get it down, and then at the end of your first mana bar, you want to evoke it back to full. There you go. And then you can repeat this process. So there you go. You can repeat the process of burning your mana. This is your second mana bar into your burn phase. So we're going to go ahead and spend it all up. And as soon as you hit the magic number of around 50% mana, you're gonna be asked to clear your charges, because you don't want to spend too much mana. You want to conserve it while waiting for evocation to come back. So this is gonna help you out, conserve your mana, know when you are in and out of the burn phase. Okay. Arcane Orb is only gonna glow up if you have if you're not at max charge, of course. So you're not gonna spend those for nothing. So the first row is not gonna do anything, pretty much. Arcane Familiar is gonna just show up there if you haven't taken it, and that's gonna be pretty much it. So Slipstream is not gonna change anything. Shimmer is just replacing Blink, which is at the bottom right there. Mana Shield not gonna change anything. I'm currently tracking Incanter's Flow, and it's gonna light up in opacity as the closest you come to 5 stacks. So it's gonna dim back down. There you go. So Incanter's Flow is gonna be tracked in that way. So it's gonna be pretty simple to follow. Mirror Image is simply gonna be a new DPS cooldown, and Rune of Power is going to be tracked. So we're gonna simply get out of combat, click Rune of Power, and there you go. Rune of Power is being tracked right there. So if I use it, there you go. It's letting me know how long is it active, and if I move out of it, it's gonna show me the cooldown left. So I need to make sure that I keep track of that. So there you go. You're gonna be able to track how many cooldowns there is left to it, and also if the buff is currently or not active. So that's gonna be nice for increasing your DPS and making sure you don't forget to activate it. Presence of Mind is gonna be right there, so you're gonna be able to know how many spells left you're able to cast, and this is Supernova, so that could always be useful. It's at the bottom of the priority list, but you know, it's there. So Charged Up is simply gonna be tracked as an external cooldown. Arcane, not external, but just as another DPS cooldown. Resonance is not going to track anything. Ring of Frost is simply going to be tracked as a CC, interrupts. Ice Ward is not going to do anything. It's just going to add charges to your Frost Nova. Chrono Shift is not going to do anything special. Nether Tempest is being tracked, and it's telling you to apply it as soon as you hit 4 stacks, because that's what you want to do. You want to keep it applied at 4 stacks. So there you go. And as soon as it's going to run off, it's going to make sure you have the requirement for the arcane charges, and it's going to light up again. So this is just going to be tracked as a debuff, and this is not going to be tracked for anything special. So right now I don't have 3 target dummies, but you've probably seen this in some of my other videos. Right now what I'm doing is I'm tracking for Arcane Blast, and if you're close to 3 target, which there's no way I can do that right now, but if you're close to 3 target, you're going to be able to see Arcane Explosion pop up instead of Arcane Blast. So you're going to know that you should be using Arcane Explosion instead of Arcane Blast. There you go. So that's going to be it for this row. And the last row is going to be Arcane Orb, Time Anomaly, and Overpower. So currently we're tracking Arcane Orb. If I go into Overpower, the only thing Overpower is going to change is how low does your conserve phase can go. So I'm not going to do it again, but it's instead of being 50%, it's simply going to be a lower percentage at which you can go for your burn phase. So that's going to be pretty nice, because since Arcane Power is going to reduce your cost by even more, it's going to take more time for you to start burning mana, because the thing is, you wait for Evocation to have 20 seconds left, and then you start burning your mana. As soon as you hit 0, then you will be able to cast Evocation. Without Overpower, it's usually from 50 to 60% until you hit 0, exactly 20 seconds. And with Overpower, it's around 30 to 40%. So you're going to be able to track that nicely. With Time Anomaly, it's pretty simple. It's just going to show up there in gray, but if you ever get the small Evocation buff or the small Arcane Power buff, they're gonna both show up here and also up here. So it's just a nice place to see it happen if the Arcane Power buff ever procs. So that's gonna be it. For Arcane Orb, it's pretty simple. I just showed it. It's showing up there. It's making sure you're not at max Arcane charges. And that's going to be it. So, we're done with Arcane. Let's move on to Fire. Fire is a little more complicated. So, Fire and Frost are very dependent on, are very situational on what's going on. So, okay. Out of combat, you're seeing your mana again, and then you're seeing your charges of Fire Blast, which are lighting up here as 2 little bar under your mana. We're tracking the exact same utility, pretty much, except we have Cauterize, and we have Arcane Intellect, which I forgot to talk about. So, if you buff it, there you go. Simply gets out of its glowing state. Okay, let's get in combat. There you go. So if I stay in combat right now, you're going to be able to see that right now I have 2 cooldowns on top, which are low cooldowns. So we have Dragon's Breath and Blast Wave, and we're still tracking Incanter's Flow, so that's nice. Currently, I'm using a random build, so we're going to go in and see what this looks like. So I'm tracking Meteor right here. So if you're not using Meteor, it's going to be either Pyroclasm or Kindling. Pyroclasm is simply going to let you know whenever Pyroclasm procs. And Kindling is going to do pretty much nothing. So it's just going to be a gray icon, so you don't have a hole in your interface. Living Bomb is going to be tracked on top, so you're going to be able to see the cooldown right there. The other 2 are not being tracked really. They're just there to do extra damage pretty much. Ring of Frost is going to be tracked right there. Ice Ward, Frenetic Speed, those, it's exactly the same. It's just you're going to be able to see those pretty nicely. And Phoenix Flame. Okay, so Phoenix Flame is this one right there. So this row is going to be Flame On and Alexstrasza's Fury. So the way it works is currently I'm tracking Phoenix Flame right there. But if you're using Alexstrasza's Fury, what I'm doing is, since Dragon's Breath is going to be a little more important to you, I'm moving it. So instead of being up top there, it's right there at in your main rotation, since this is now proccing Odd Streak. So you want to keep, well, it contributes to Odd Streak, so you want to keep an eye on it a little closer than just being an additional, you know, crowd control or something like that. Incanter's Flow, Mirror Image, and Rune of Power, they're all the same for all mages, so they're all going to be tracked the same way. Blast Wave, like you saw, is going to be tracked, so it's going to be tracked right there. Searing Touch is also going to be tracked, so it's going to tell you whenever the target is under 30%. So of course you can see it if you're tracking it on your unit bar, but it's simply going to show a little icon. You should probably start casting Scorch by now. Pyromaniac is not going to do anything special, so it's going to be tracked the same way that Eating Up and the proc are gonna be tracked pretty much. Firestarter is also going to be tracked on top, so I don't pick it right now because the dummy are always over 90% HP, so we're not gonna have that. Okay, so let's start seeing how does this work. Okay, so as soon as you get a critical strike, you're gonna get Eating Up, which is gonna light up in here. So you can press Fire Blast and then simply use your Fireball, you know, your Pyroblast, so you know how to play Mage. I'm guessing these are gonna let them down, so they're gonna go gray and then they're gonna load as your new Fire Blast charges are coming into play. So you're gonna be able to track those pretty nicely, and that's gonna be very helpful. If you cast any shield in any spec, it's gonna be tracked up here, so in and out of combat, as you could see. Sorry. And let's go on Pyroclasm just real quick, just to show you what this does. So if I go on Pyroclasm, I'm gonna try to make it proc, just to show you. So it's gonna be very straightforward. It's gonna be very straightforward. Just gonna try to make it proc because it's a very low percentage chance, but just for the sake of the video. Yeah, of course when I'm recording a video, it's never gonna proc pretty much. The way that Pyroclasm is gonna work is, instead of lighting up, because if you see if you get a proc, it's showing you that you have Odd Streak, but Pyroblast is lighting up. But if you get a Pyroclasm, I'm gonna light up Pyroclasm. I don't want to light up Pyroblast because I don't want you to think that it's instant cast. So it's simply gonna light up this way, and there you go. You can simply use it and move on with your rotation. So Phoenix Flame you saw was being tracked under here instead of Dragon's Breath, if that's what you're using. And that's pretty much it. So Living Bomb is also going to be tracked, so you're going to be able to see how long it has on cooldown. And that's pretty much all there is to it for fire. If you pick Flame on, of course, you're going to get 3 charges. So there you go. You now have 3 charges of Fire Blast at the bottom, plus this one. So it's going to be very easy to keep track of. It's going to be very visual, and you're not going to lose track of it. Okay. Let's go into Frost. Okay, so Frost is just like Fire in a way. It's that it's very... you have to react to buffs and things happening. So it's gonna be very very similar. So for Frost, we're currently tracking. So I'm having an Ice Lance icon tracking your procs. So we're gonna track Finger of Frost right there. It's showing how many times left there is on your proc and how many of them do you have, which you should probably use every time they show up. Then you're gonna have your Brain Freeze proc on Flurry. And since I have 5 Icicle, this is also lighting up. So you need to know what to do as Frost. You need to know how to line up your burst, how to line up your DPS. So I'm also showing the Icicle at the bottom right there. So I'm going to spend them in. You have your Even Bolt, of course. And then, for example, if I get a Brain Freeze proc, you use Flurry, and then you spam Ice Lance right after. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. So I'm not going to make Ice Lance glow after using Flurry, because it's very... it's something that you need to press almost instantly, so there's no really benefit into having it glow. You just need to know that you need to do it, pretty much. So we're going to be tracking baseline cooldown, so Icy Vein is going to be right there. And since Frozen Orb is a very quick cooldown, we're going to show it at the top right there. If you use your orb and you have the talent, we're going to let you know the Blizzard can be cast instantly, and it's also going to track the cooldown. So you're going to be aware that you can cast a second one if you don't miss it, of course. But there you go. So this is going to be the very baseline rotation for Frost. If you switch some stuff around, so if you're not Lonely Winter, for example, and you're Ice Nova, let's try that out as soon as we get out of combat. So if you're Ice Nova, it's going to tell you need to cast your Water Elemental. Just like Warlock Destruction and Hunter, it's going to let you know you forgot to cast your pet. And Ice Nova is just going to show up here with your CC. So that's going to be it for that. Ice Flow is at the bottom in the utilities. This row is exactly the same for all Mage spec. Even Bolt is being tracked there. If you pick Chain Reaction, we're going to wait for Even Bolt to come off cooldown real quick. So Frozen Touch is not going to change anything, pretty much. You're not going to track anything special. And Chain Reaction, we're just going to track the every time that one of your Ice Lance crit, you get Chain Reaction, letting you know how many times left there is and how many stacks do you have on yourself. So that's going to be very straightforward. If you have Comet Storm, it's just going to track right next to Frozen Orb because it's a very short cooldown. And if you have Glacial Spike or Ray of Frost, so Thermal Void is not going to change anything really. It's just going to lower the cooldown of your Icy Veins pretty quickly. And Glacial Spike and Ray of Frost, so Ray of Frost is going to be a DPS cooldown right there. And Glacial Spike is going to show up over your Icicle whenever you are ready to use it. So if you saw, you have your Icicles, under here that are lighting up, as well as this middle one. But as soon as you hit 5, these are going to turn white. There you go. And Glacial Spikes shows up, letting you know you can cast the ability. So this is going to help you keep track of all your stuff. So that's going to be very helpful. You know that you need to spend your Fingers of Frost and all that good jazz. So that's gonna be very simple to keep up with your rotation, keep up with your cooldowns, your stacks, and your buff. So that's gonna be it for Mage. I hope you guys like the final and last class into going into Battle for Azeroth. So here's my plan. Since all 12 class has been done and completed, we are going, which is tomorrow for me. Right now, we're going to do a very big 24-hour stream for Battle for Azeroth. So you might be watching this in the future, but as soon as Battle for Azeroth hit, we're gonna do some content for Battle for Azeroth. We're gonna do class rotation guides, We're going to do Mythic Plus and Mythic Guide. So that's going to be good. But then we're going to do a Phase 2 for all classes. Phase 2 is going to include PvP talent, and it's going to revamp with a lot of you guys' suggestion that you want to see improve on each class. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my video, so I know that you appreciate my work and that I can keep doing this with all of your amazing support. If you guys want to watch me live, make sure you join Twitch, follow my channel, say hello, join the community. We have a very, very nice community chatting with each other, and it's growing every day. So make sure you join that, and we're going to have a great time. So that's it for me, and this time it's going to be real, but good luck in BFA, guys.